Welcome to the AC 24/7 Top Story Countdown. We'll guide you through the biggest news of the day. Our focus, advocating our rights, advocating health, and advocating Earth. Here's our pick for number 4.
A Hamas tunnel below Gaza's largest hospital. That's what the Israeli military says this video shows. Nearly 48 hours after Israeli forces raided Al-Shifa hospital, these are the first images of what the Israeli military says is an operational tunnel shaft on the grounds of the hospital complex. CNN cannot independently verify those claims, but using this frame, CNN has geolocated this video to the Al-Shifa complex, about 30 meters away from one of the hospital's main buildings.
It is here in Shifa Hospital where Hamas operates some of its command and control cells.
For weeks, Israeli officials have laid the groundwork for an operation targeting Shifa Hospital, claiming Hamas operates a massive underground complex below it. And in recent days, the U.S. has also backed up those allegations.
One thing has been established is that Hamas does have headquarters, weapons, materiel below this hospital.
As Israeli special forces continue searching the hospital complex, they are also uncovering weapons and ammunition.
There is an AK-47, there are cartridges, ammo, there are grenades in here,
which the Israeli military calls concrete evidence that Hamas used Gaza's largest hospital to wage war. Near the hospital, Israeli officials also say they found the body of 65-year-old Yehudit Weiss, who was among those abducted on October 7th. Israel's decision to send troops into a hospital has drawn fierce criticism, with the UN's aid chief saying he is appalled by the raid. President Biden standing by Israel's actions.
It's not like they're rushing in the hospital, knocking down doors and, pulling people aside and shooting people indiscriminately.
Amid the fighting, the families of hostages held by Hamas ramping up the pressure.
This whole huge march of families up to Jerusalem comes to make a very clear stand to our government that they need to take any deal that they have and pay any price for these people, for their citizens, pretty much.
As negotiations drag on over a deal that could see Hamas free dozens of women and children in exchange for a multi-day ceasefire.
This is my sister-in-law, and this is my niece. She's 12 years old.
Their families are racked with anxiety.
It's been nerve-wracking, to tell you the truth, because, again, we don't know who to believe. We are trying to kind of scrape the last remnants of faith and trust in our government that when a relevant deal comes to the table, they will take it.
For now, they march and wait.
TheAdvocateChannel.com looks at the world through the lens of equality and inclusion. Subscribe, like, and share now. AC 24/7's Top Story Countdown continues with our producer's pick for number 3.
Today on San Francisco's Bay Bridge, pro-Palestinian protesters brought traffic to a standstill for hours during rush hour. 80 arrested and 29 cars towed off the bridge. A direct message to President Biden, who was attending the APEC Summit nearby. And last night, this melee at Democratic National Committee headquarters in Washington. Peace activists calling for a ceasefire in Gaza. Police forcefully moving protesters down a flight of stairs. The protesters at certain points blocked the exits. At least 10 Democratic lawmakers, including top party leaders, were inside at the time, had no way out, and had to be evacuated.
We were told we were in lockdown and would not be allowed to leave, and then the police came in and evacuated us through the basement.
It's led to a he said, she said regarding which side provoked the violence. The U.S. Capitol Police in a statement said the protesters were the aggressors and, quote, 6 officers were treated for injuries, from minor cuts to being pepper sprayed to being punched. The protest organizers say the police rushed the crowd without warning and were not provoked.
They pepper sprayed and kicked and pushed and pulled people's hair while we lit candles and prayed and sang.
These protests, emblematic of a broader political problem for President Biden and the Democrats. Progressives in the party are increasingly splitting with Biden and moderate Democrats over Biden's steadfast support for Israel in this war.
A lot of Democrats, including Democratic voters, want to see the president more forcefully call for extended pauses or a ceasefire.
Earlier this month, organizers of a pro-Palestinian rally directly told the president what he stands to lose among Muslim voters and others.
Our message is no ceasefire, no votes. No votes for you anywhere if you do not call for a ceasefire now.
Many Muslim voters, a key constituent in the crucial swing state of Michigan, have lost enthusiasm for the president over his stance on the war. But analysts say there's even more at stake.
It's also young voters. We're seeing them rally around civilians in Gaza, calling for a ceasefire, not happy with the way the president is addressing the war. And so young voters were really key to Biden in states like Michigan, in states like Arizona, and in states like Georgia.
Like the Advocate channel on Facebook for the best way to get updates on stories that advocate for equality, justice, our rights, and more. AC 24/7 continues with today's top 2 pick.
How you doing?
The man accused of violently attacking Nancy Pelosi's husband found guilty by a jury in federal court Thursday. 42-year-old David DePape found guilty of assaulting the immediate family member of a federal official and a second count of attempted kidnapping of a federal official.
Regardless of what your beliefs are, what you cannot do is physically attack a member of Congress or their immediate family for their performance in their job.
DePape was arrested last October after breaking into the Pelosi's home in San Francisco.
Drop the hammer.
Then violently attacking Paul Pelosi with a hammer. His real target, though, was Nancy Pelosi, who was House Speaker at the time. In court, an emotional DePape testified the assault was fueled by conspiracy theories he felt were true. DePape earlier admitting to investigators that he was after Nancy Pelosi.
I was going to basically hold her hostage, and I was going to talk to her and basically film her what I do. If she told the truth, I'd let her go scot-free. If she lied, that was going to break me down.
The attack left Paul Pelosi severely injured. He had to undergo surgery for a skull fracture and injuries to his hand and arm. A spokesperson for Nancy Pelosi releasing a statement after the verdict, saying the Pelosi family is very proud of their pop, who demonstrated extraordinary composure and courage on the night of the attack a year ago and in the courtroom this week. DePape faces a maximum prison sentence of 30 years and 20 years on the 2 charges. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Follow the Advocate channel on Twitter and Instagram to stay updated on stories that matter every day. Here's our #1 story of the day. Take a look.
Together, we're going to be forging a better future.
It's the last day of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in San Francisco. The gathering of world leaders might seem lofty, but it impacts average Americans. Today, President Joe Biden is set to discuss migration with the president of Mexico. That subject is a bipartisan priority.
We need a plan to do what we need to do to secure the southern border.
APEC's main focus is economics, and that affects American wallets.
I have partnered with the private sector and philanthropies to economically empower women around the world.
Biden's meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping Wednesday highlights the country's economic ties. It also might help get pandas back in U.S. zoos.
We are ready to continue our cooperation with the United States on panda conservation.
Other news out of APEC involves everyone on Earth.
We've concluded an agreement to accelerate the clean energy transition in the Indo-Pacific region.
APEC also makes it harder for world leaders to tune out the voices of the American people. I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Thanks for watching the Advocate channel's top stories. We're on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. Follow, like, and share, or check out advocatechannel.com for even more stories that advocate for you.